Okay, with me on the line, I'm talking to Mikko from Apocalyptica. Mikko, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, I think it's fair to say that Apocalyptica are quite unique. How did the band form?
The band started actually over 20 years ago already, and the idea to start the band was not to start the band, but it was just to play around with the guys. The cello players, they were studying all at back on those days in Sibelius Academy, which is University for Classical Music here in Finland, and they just happened to play cellos and like heavy metal. So when they have these like student parties or whatever, they thought it's kind of a fun, gimmicky thing to play metal music with cellos, and they did it for fun and gained like a huge success nearly overnight. As whenever they performed there, people came to see them, even though they were not like public appearances in that sense. The word spread out, and I think it was their first show, which it was a public show when they were signed already. There was this one small label in Finland, and the owner of the label came to see the band and thought that this is the coolest thing he's seen, and wanted to sign the guys. And the guys thought that it's the stupidest thing to really release an album out of that, like a fun band thing. And they said that it makes no sense because nobody's going to buy it and nobody's going to listen it back from the album. And the label guy just convinced, yeah, but let's do it. It's going to be fun. And they didn't have any expectations. They thought that if they're going to sell 1,000 copies, it will be amazing. But it took off, and then everything afterwards has just happened, like kind of. It's unfair to say unplanned, but it has taken us further than anyone ever thought.
Yeah, look, I would never have thought it possible to have a band made up of cellos launch into the heavy metal world. But, I commend you and the boys, but it must have been an amazing process in the beginning, apart from the confidence that they could do it. I mean, you already touched on it before, not too much in the way of expectations, but how was it difficult getting a record company on board, or did it just sort of fall into place?
The record company, I said, they kind of they approached the guys back in those days and felt that this is going to be great. And very shortly after that one, it was Universal Germany who heard of the band. And I think the first shows guys ever played outside of Finland was Germany. And that was for a long time, Germany was kind of the main market before it started to expand in the somewhere around 2000. But record companies, we've been lucky kind of in a way that there have been always people in the labels we've been to who have trusted band's originality and music we are doing, even though it hasn't been mainstream. They have kind of seen the potential exactly in that it's just original and unique, and we have got lots of artistic freedom because of that. And it's been very surprising, and still is that the people deep in the business, checking music from the business perspective, are interested in us.
Yeah. Now, the first album, just all Metallica covers, which we've spoken about. Now, the second album, a few more Metallica covers, and Sepultura and Faith No More as well, plus some originals. And was that the plan from the beginning, to slowly introduce more originals into the albums?
I don't think it was in the very beginning, as nobody thought it to be a band in the first place. But I think that's kind of the driving force for us. We need to be, or especially even when I was not in the band, the guys have always had this passion to go further, not to kind of settle and not to be satisfied what they have, but to keep themselves, and nowadays to keep ourselves excited. We need to develop ourselves. We need to take chances. We need to go further. We need to do things we have not done before. And if you check the line of Apocalyptica, starting from 4 cellos playing, Metallica gradually going into music, which is original music with 4 cellos, then taking in vocalists, then taking in drummer. And now, as we have been past years, we've been kind of going with the way that there is 4 of us, 3 cellos and a drummer, who's the band, and then we have had loads of like guest singers. And
Yeah.
again, we kind of felt that this has been fun, but we need to do something different. So now for the new album, we took in one singer who is kind of, he's not part of the band, but he's part of the process. And we're only going to have this one guy now singing the whole album with us. And it's another step for us to develop ourselves, that we don't become bored.
Yeah, okay. We'll touch on the new album in a minute, but by the time your fifth album came around, which was a self-titled album, just Apocalyptica,
Yeah.
I read somewhere that Pavo said that the reason for that, like calling it Apocalyptica, is because the group felt like that album best represented the band or something along those lines. Was that right?
On that time, for sure it was. And I think that was the time when I joined in the band, and I was then very strongly involved with the arranging of the songs, and there were, I think, drums were on every track but two, I think, and we had done a massive tour just before it, and I think that basically every album we've done has been a kind of a sign of the time, and like a stamp of that moment where we have stood, and then I think it was kind of me coming into the band and the structure of the band changing in that sense. It was kind of a new start then in 2005 that new era started, and I'm really proud of the album still. I think it's a great album and really represents what we were then.
Yeah, you got a new album coming out soon, which you just touched on. Now, when will that be released? What can you tell us about this new album?
It's going to be out like early April, I think 2nd of April or something like that. And we did, Seventh Symphony was done 2010. After that, we did a long tour, I think close to 200 shows, and we toured 2 years after making album, and the album making process was quite exhausting back in those, on that album. And so it was kind of, already then when we made the Seventh Symphony, we agreed that after that tour we're going to have a break and we need to get some air and get some distance to the band, that we can see ourselves better. And that's what we did. We were not just sitting on our asses. We worked also the kind of the break time, and we did this one dance project, which was huge, Wagner Reloaded, and we did loads of other things. But from the perspective that it's not kind of in the tube where we are in, that we do an album and we go to radios and then we do a tour and we go to the studio and then it starts over again. So we were able to break that loop and kind of see ourselves new, as I said. And that was something that got us like super excited, and there was a hunger to make music in the band that hasn't been around in years. And so therefore it was a very creative process when we started to write songs and started to like think how it should sound and how it should look and what kind of songs, what kind of producer and all that. And it's not been easy. We have had like a lot of changes, and we have needed to push a lot to aim our goal, but the goal has been so clear in our minds that we have pushed through the thickest brick wall just to get over there. And now, as there is only 3 songs that have not been mixed, we are so proud of the album and so excited of the music and the sound we got. Exactly the guys we wanted to have. The producer Nick Raskulinek, who is absolutely amazing and made us to be more than we've ever been. That's what I feel. And we got a guy to mix the album who is my biggest idol in mixing scene, Greg Fiddleman, and so it's just absolutely a thrilling process.
Now, what's the name of the album?
The album is called Shadowmaker, which is also we put out already one song. It's not like a single, but it's there on. You can stream it, and I think it's in Spotify and maybe iTunes. I don't know. Yeah. Which is not a single. It's like a long song. It's 8 minutes long track with strong vocal parts, and then it goes to this craziest like instrumental progressive middle part, and that is kind of it represents the album very well because it's super creative. That's what I feel, the album, and we've been able to expand our expression and that we've taken down all the limitations for the structures or styles of music and whatever, and that's how the whole album's gonna be. And yeah, but it's Shadowmaker. That's the first song and the album title.
Excellent. Look forward to that. Now, the list of people who have appeared on your albums is like a who's who of the music world. Now, these people must be lining up around the block to appear on a Apocalyptica album. What's it been like to work with all these different people? Must be amazing.
It's really amazing, and I think just like thinking from the musician's point of view, to be able to work with so creative people with such a passion for what they do and who are original in their own styles, and the variety of the styles of those people is amazing. And I think it has made us to grow as musicians more than maybe anything else, and how much you always learn when you get to be involved with such persons. But we've been doing that for now, I don't know, 10 years, even more, maybe 14 years, when the first singer was featuring on our album. And that was kind of the thing, even though it has been fun and everything, we wanted to challenge ourselves, not to kind of be satisfied of the situation and not to think it new and not to question the formula we have had. And therefore we actually broke that line, at least for now. And on this new album, we only have one singer, and that was a kind of a big thing for us to do. And we thought it for a long time, but we thought that for us to develop ourselves and not to be stuck, we need to do something again daring and something to push us to reach out for more. And we found this amazing guy, Frankie Perez, who's he lives in Las Vegas. He's originally from Cuba, and absolutely amazing voice, and he fits the band perfectly. He's been around for quite a while and worked with numbers of very, very great people, and his input for the album has been massive, and he's actually appearing on not all the tracks, but quite a few of them. But that was also one big step for the album, that we skipped all the featuring artists.
Now, 2013, you did the Wagner Reloaded concerts. Tell us about that. That must have been amazing.
That was really cool. It was, I think, maybe 2010. It was on the previous tour. This German choreographer came to see our show, and he had been asked to do, I think it was 2013. That was this Richard Wagner's this celebration year, and the choreographer was asked to do a special event, like kind of Wagner's life, and he had thought immediately not to go to do a dance act based on Wagner's music, but he wanted to do a dance act based on Apocalyptica's music. And therefore he approached us, and it was a big project. There were over 200 dancers on stage. There was acrobats, and there was a symphony orchestra, big choir. So there was, I don't know how many people in total, maybe 300. It was a massive production, and a great appearance, and it looked super cool. And Eikka actually wrote all the music for it by himself, and and I said that was the time when we had a break of 2 years. We didn't keep a break, but that was a different kind of Apocalyptica. It was very artistic. It was closer to classical world than the rock world, and it was great. And we hoped that we would get to do more shows with that in the future. It won't be in the near future because we are concentrating on of course our own album now. But it was really great.
Excellent. Fantastic. Now, you're coming to Australia soon to be a part of the Soundwave festivals. We're looking forward to that. Now, what have you got in store for Australian audiences on the Soundwave tour?
We are kind of excited ourselves as well, because they are going to be the first real festival appearances with the band as it is now. We're going to have our singer Frankie Perez with us. We've been to Australia only once doing club shows. We haven't ever played festivals over there. Festival lineup is just it's massive, and we are kind of super excited to get to go there and as we are so proud of the new album and the music we've been doing. So we are eager to get to play that music live. And it's like every time, I would say, like normally people, even though they would know the band, they don't know what to expect live. It's very energetic show, and when you tell people that there's cellos playing heavy metal, they get kind of an impression in their heads what it could be, but they don't have an idea what's really going on stage. So you just need to see it.
We look forward to that. You're doing 70,000 tons of metal in a couple of weeks. You must be excited about doing that too.
That's fun. I haven't ever been to Caribbean, and I haven't ever been to that cruise. And I've heard just like that it's great fun, and some 5 days of like wonderful music and nice people and sun shining. So I cannot complain. I'm really excited to do that one. We are leaving just in 1 week, I think.
Mikko, absolutely fantastic to speak to you today.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the new album coming out soon. Can't wait to see you coming up at the Soundwave festivals.
It's going to be great. And thanks for the interview.